Picture this scene. You're at the supermarket, standing in front of the produce section. You're holding two identical apples. One costs $1.50 and sports a shiny organic label. The other costs 75 cents and honestly looks exactly the same. Your brain starts churning with questions. Is that organic apple really worth double the price? Am I putting my family's health at risk by choosing the cheaper one? Or am I just being fooled by a brilliant marketing strategy? Stop for a moment. Before making that decision, let me tell you a story that will completely change the way you see organic food. Organic food has exploded in recent years like a commercial bomb. What was once a niche market for a few enthusiasts has transformed into what many consider a moral obligation. We've been convinced that organic means healthier, more natural, more ethical. But here's the million-dollar question. Do we really know what organic means? Get ready because what I'm about to tell you might shock you. There is no universal global definition of organic. Every country has its own standards, its own rules, its own controls. It's like we're playing soccer, but each team is following different rules. What's organic in Italy might not be in Germany, and vice versa. In general, organic food is grown without genetically modified seeds, without synthetic fertilizers, and without artificial pesticides. Organic farmers use more traditional methods: crop rotation, natural fertilizers like compost or manure. Sounds simple, right? But wait, because when we dig deeper, things become tremendously complicated. Let's talk about health. Is organic food really healthier? The idea that traditional methods produce more nutritious food seems reasonable, almost obvious. Some studies actually show that organic foods contain higher levels of antioxidants. The mechanism is fascinating. When plants aren't protected by synthetic chemicals, they have to defend themselves and produce more protective compounds. It's like they're doing their own personal strength training. But here's the plot twist. We still don't know for certain how these antioxidants affect our health. We don't know exactly what benefits they bring or how much we need. It's like having a puzzle with half the pieces missing. We can't see the complete picture. And what about general nutrition? Some studies report slightly higher levels of vitamin C and omega-3s in organic foods. Others find no significant differences. The variations are usually so small they don't have a real impact on your health. At this point, science doesn't show a convincing advantage for organic food. But here's a crystal clear truth that no one disputes. Eating more fruits and vegetables is good for your health, whether they're organic or conventional. In fact, most people would benefit much more from simply eating more fresh produce of any kind rather than choosing organic over conventional. Now, most people don't buy organic because they think it's more nutritious. They buy it to avoid something harmful. The words pesticides and chemical fertilizers are scary, I admit. And yes, studies show that organic food contains fewer pesticide residues. But get ready for the plot twist. Less doesn't mean zero. Organic farming allows the use of pesticides, just different types. Most organic pesticides come from natural sources: vegetable oils, ash, minerals like sulfur and copper. Some synthetic substances are also allowed if they meet certain criteria. But here's the bombshell. Natural doesn't automatically mean safer. The toxicity of a substance depends on dosage and exposure, not its origin. Copper sulfate, commonly used on organic apples, can be more harmful to humans than many conventional pesticides. Poison ivy is 100% natural, but you'd never put it in your salad. Recent research on pesticide exposure and long-term health has produced conflicting results. A French study from 2023 linked the lack of organic food in the diet to a higher risk of cancer, but critics pointed out that it was based on self-reported eating habits and lacked direct pesticide testing. A Danish study from the same year estimated that the risk of pesticides in food for an adult is roughly equivalent to drinking a glass of wine every 3 months. That's not exactly cause for alarm. That said, food safety regulations in the European Union and the United States are extremely rigorous. Thousands of food samples are tested every year, and most show no residues or only traces well below legal limits. In reality, microbial contamination, like bacteria or fungi, is currently a greater risk to your health than pesticides, and it affects both organic and conventional products equally. But what about the environment? Isn't organic better for the planet? An important 2024 analysis examined hundreds of organic and conventional farms, comparing them across various categories: greenhouse gas emissions, energy use, land use, and more. The results weren't as clear as you might expect. Organic systems used less energy, but greenhouse gas emissions were roughly the same. Organic farming required more land to produce the same amount of food. So while organic reduced some environmental impacts, it increased others. A Swedish report reached similar conclusions. Organic and conventional systems performed roughly the same in most areas. Organic had an advantage in reducing ecotoxicity, basically damage to surrounding ecosystems. But conventional agriculture was more efficient in terms of land use. So, strangely, conventional agriculture might have a slightly smaller overall environmental footprint. It depends on how you measure things. And there are broader impacts to consider. As demand for organic food increases, farmers are pushed to meet that demand on a large scale, sometimes in unsustainable ways. For example, Spain produces massive quantities of organic and conventional vegetables in energy-intensive greenhouses. The emissions from these systems are significant, even if the products are certified organic. As more countries begin importing organic products to meet growing demand, global supply chains become longer and more complex. This makes it harder to enforce consistent quality standards and opens the door to fraud. Yes, conventional food has been sold as organic more than once. The real problem is that organic versus conventional isn't just a technical debate. For many people, it's emotional. Organic is often seen as a philosophy, a way of taking care of your body and the planet. And this makes it difficult to look at the issue objectively. But that's exactly what we need to do. The truth is that neither system is perfect. Both organic and conventional agriculture have strengths and weaknesses. The best path might be combining the most effective and sustainable features of both. So, what should you do when it's time to go shopping? Focus on what really matters to you. If your priority is health, eating more fruits and vegetables of any kind is much more beneficial than stressing about organic labels. If your concern is the planet, simply buying organic won't solve everything. A simpler and often better option is to buy local and seasonal food. Supporting nearby farms and reducing transportation has real environmental benefits. In many ways, eating with the seasons is the real organic. To conclude, remember this: that organic label doesn't guarantee superior health or sustainability. It's just one piece of a much larger puzzle. And the next time you're at the store, facing those two apples, remember, the real choice isn't between organic and conventional. It's whether you eat that apple or not. If you liked this content and it made you think, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next deep dives that will make you see the world with different eyes. See you in the next video.